It was two boys, a 14 and 15-year-old boy, that had stolen it. And he asked if we wanted to press charges. Our initial reaction was, yes, throw the book at him. We had been on a motorhome trip this summer, and we went on a Maranatha project back east, and then we went to Michigan to Kathy's family, and we ended up being there longer than we originally had anticipated. Staying with her family, we parked the motorhome at the church. We put it kind of the back of the parking lot so it would be out of the way. Well, while it was there, it got stolen. That was kind of a surprise for us. It had been recovered, towed and impounded. Thieves were caught, but in talking with the sheriff, it was two boys, a 14 and 15-year-old boy, that had stolen it. And he asked if we wanted to press charges. Our initial reaction was, yes, throw the book at him. There was no malicious vandalism done to it, but they had driven it definitely on dirt and muddy roads and bumpy, and anybody that has a motorhome knows that you don't make sharp turns and hard corners. The majority of the problem was that everything inside was thrown all over from this kind of driving. And yeah, there was a few things on the outside by driving where it shouldn't be. Broke a couple vents and that kind of thing. We brought it back to the church and we're cleaning it out. And the neighbor to the church, she had a little boy and they were walking around in the parking lot. He loved to ride his little car. Got to talking with her and she was really surprised that they had lived there for 5 years and never had a problem with anything, any theft. Well, talking with her, she said, well, you could park it at my house in my driveway, right next to my van, right outside my kitchen window. And so we did. Oh, and it was all done. Well, because it was there, one of the mothers of these boys saw it, and through the neighbor, we made contact with the two mothers. The mothers were very apologetic, both single moms. The boys had written apology letters, and so they said, is there anything we can do or the boys can do? And the boys helped me wash the outside of the motorhome. We'd already cleaned up the inside. And while we were doing that, Kathy and the pastor, we had invited the pastor over too, met with the mothers, talked and prayed with them, and finding out, the boy that was driving, he had lost his father in the previous year. They had moved, so it was a new area, new neighborhood, a new school, COVID, new friends, and whether or not that's really an excuse, that was part of the problem maybe.
My mom was a single mom with 3 kids, and my brothers did some things, and I would hope that there would be some mercy shown to them. And losing a father, it's major for him to go through. Teen years are hard enough, and then lose your dad and have 2 older brothers bossing you around and a mom that's got to go to work every day. When you see that, then you don't feel so ready to accuse.
Through that experience, learning that, we were reminded that relationships are more important than issues. There was no malicious stuff like graffiti or taking a knife and scratching things or marking things up. There was none of that kind of thing. It was just carelessness. Thought it was cool to go for a joyride. We ended up not pressing charges and dealing directly with the mothers. We've been in contact. At Christmas, we exchanged Christmas greetings. And it's one of those things that, why did this happen to us? Now, as far as big repairs, we drove the motorhome home. I fixed everything, so it wasn't a major thing that way, but if this hadn't happened, we never would have met these people. We don't know the end of the story, we may never.
We still have to learn these lessons over. It's a daily connection because the Lord, He's not in our minds, the devil is. And our carnal nature right away goes to get revenge, get even.
Relationships are more important than issues, and we were reminded of grace and humility. We were so sure that, these boys, are just terrible boys. How are we? Are we terrible too? And grace extended to us. We don't know what the end result will be. We may never, but maybe someday in heaven we'll know why. We are the Blums, and this is our story.
I'm Pastor Tara Van Cross, and we're so glad that you've tuned into our Azure Hills Church YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, and click on the bell so that you'll be notified every time we share new videos. We are so glad that you're here. Until next time, please know that we're praying for you as you continue to be a voice of hope.